Okay, YouTube. I'm going to see if I can do another video. Um, it's about the fact that evolution has lost the war. Biogenesis has lost the war. It's utter nonsense, and they're still trying to say it's science. Trying to say that unguided objects significantly sequenced your existence, which is totally absurd when you consider what that means. It means that the hundreds of proteins inside of you that are hundreds of digits in length, that have hundreds of sequenced amino acids, of 20 possible amino acids inside of you, that they all simultaneously were made without any direction, without any significant sequencing. They became significantly sequenced without any significant sequencing. It's basically what they're trying to say. Trying to say that unrelated mutations programmed an entire transformation. A uniform symmetrical transformation from one living organism to another, from one phyla to another. So it's just totally absurd, and yet they're trying to say that it's science, trying to say that it's a valid science. They keep talking about aliens and evolution like it was something that was observed by science, when it's not. No part of it is observed. It's all imagined. It's all fantasy. It's all wishful thinking. They wish that they made themselves, or had themselves made, or were made by natural cause. There is no natural cause, so it's a supernatural cause. There is no other option. Either you credit the objects that were made, or you credit a maker with making the objects, that programmed the objects, that significantly sequenced the objects inside of you, the atoms, the amino acids, 20 possible left-handed amino acids that never occur naturally in under any circumstances. You can get maybe 3 or 4 or 5 at the very most, but not 20. You need 20 left-handed amino acids, and of course they break apart, they fall apart, they don't they just can't be used unless you have pre-existing zygote and pre-existing directives that match the zygote, that match the proteins. The proteins have to match the directives that make the proteins. You can't have the proteins without the directives, and you can't have the directives without the proteins, or it's pre-existing. It was already there. That's the issues. So since it was already there, that means that it was a supernatural maker that put it there, because it could not get there by any natural means. So that's what the information is. That's the evidence that we have. We don't have any evidence of any unguided natural thing making any directed working mechanism of any kind. So it's certainly not going to make a directed living organism with pre-existing proteins already in place. I mean, that's just totally absurd. So evolution of biogenesis has lost the war, has utterly been defeated, has utterly been disproved, and knocked out of the way. And yet they still try to hold on. They try to hold on. It's in government. They need to take it out of government. It's a belief system. Has no place in government. has no place in any educational system, no place in any school, regardless of what kind of school it is. It's not true. It shouldn't be there. It's not true. Objects can't make you. Unguided objects can't make you. To say otherwise is to lie. And it's just not true. And the scientists are doing all kinds of acrobatics trying to explain away the fact that objects can't make you, and they're losing their mind over it. They're becoming utterly insane, trying to give the credit to objects, which is what humans have done for ages, is trying to credit objects for doing things that objects can't do. That's called naturalism, it's called paganism, it's called idolatry. So the idol of the scientist is the elements, the created things become the idol that get the credit instead of the maker of all the created things. It's the maker that gets the credit for making the things that work. If it works, that means it has a maker, because things don't work without having a maker, because there's no guiding. Objects can't guide anything, they can't make any working thing, any directed working thing. Forces never significantly sequence any directed working thing. Not gravity, not a water cycle, not any force, not light. No force is able to significantly sequence any directed working thing, any mechanism. So evolution just lost. They just lost the whole thing. Of course, it's been lost for ages, but they just have to face up to it. And they're just a bunch of cowards trying to influence people that don't know better, because they can't influence people that know that objects can't make them. So they lie to people that will believe their lies, and their belief has no place in any public school, any school of any kind, because it's not a true belief. It's not a true teaching. It's not true. It's a lie. It shouldn't be there. We need to get rid of every last bit of object credit belief that there is, whether it's abiogenesis or evolution or whatever it is. Unrelated changes don't write transforming directives. It doesn't happen. It never happens. It never did happen. Never will happen. No part of evolution has any basis, any factual basis. It needs to be totally removed from every educational system there is. And that's all there is to it.